Good morning all, welcome back to the channel. I'm out in the, well, I suppose you could call it the wilds today, out in the vicinity of Chedworth, the little village of Chedworth, and I'm going to be looking for a section of the old Midland and Southwestern Junction Railway, in particular Chedworth Woods, or as some people call it, Withington Woods, because it's kind of midway between the two villages. If I pan round a bit, you'll be able to see the woods up on the hill there. Unbelievably, there's a lost railway in there with a nice tunnel. And, roughly halfway between Withington, village of Withington, and Chedworth, there's a road bridge that I discovered on Google Earth whilst browsing for various railways and bits and pieces. So that's the first target. I'm going to go and see if we can find what would probably be called the Compton road bridge, although I'm not sure whether that was its official name. So that's the first target. We'll pack the kit up and go and see if we can find it. Quick view of the bridge from the road before we plunge into the cutting. Both walls in very good condition. Fenced on that side, not quite sure why. I would have thought the blackthorn and brambles would have been an adequate fence, but there you go, this side is accessible. There's footpaths through this particular section of wood. On site then, and we managed to locate the boundary railway fence. Seems to have used mostly concrete posts from what I can see. And then if I turn to my right, probably not picking it up on the camera very well, so we'll have to investigate further. But there is a pretty deep cutting leading up to the road bridge, so I'll move around a bit and see if I can get down into said cutting. Down in the cutting then, and headed south back towards the road bridge. Quite a lot of limestone carved out there. Just admiring the beautiful ferns that you always find in these old railway cuttings. Absolutely beautiful. And we've arrived at the road bridge. A rather large mound of soil. Get a bit closer. That was closed off with a fence at some point. And there it is. Nice buttress in there. In good condition. Some of it's in stone, some of it in red brick. Little patches of blue engineering brick. And see how that's cut into the bank there. That's absolutely amazing. Now, can I get to the other side of it? I'll have a go. There we are, got to the other side. Quite a large sloping buttress in there, built into the bedrock. There's quite a mix in here, as I said just now. There's typical those huge blocks of limestone, and then patches of blue brick for repairs. Lovely arch. And then another another substantial buttress on that side, built into the bedrock. That's a lovely bridge. And that's a view towards Withington, about a mile or so down the valley, and of course that goes on to Andoversford station, where this Midland and South Western Junction Railway converged with the Banbury and Cheltenham Direct Railway before plunging into Cheltenham. And a fairly substantial piece of retaining wall just there. And also another bit just up there, like 2 layers to hold the soil back. And of course in that direction, that's facing south, will be Chedworth and Fosscross, and then into Cirencester, Watermore, and Swindon, and ultimately Southampton. Some quite substantial pieces of limestone there. I'm guessing they've tumbled off the top of the embankment. You wouldn't want to be in the way of one of those, would you? And it looks like they'd put a gated barrier across the span of the bridge after the railway closed in 1961. And a shot of the top of the cutting running into the bridge. A lot of work there. There's an awful lot of hard stone to remove. All done by pick, shovel and barrow, of course, back in the day. And a huge buttress built into it. A lot of skill there, a lot of skill. And the Midland and South Western Railway Junction Railway straining post and strut. Quite an unusual one, that. And it's got no moving closed. And look at this straining mechanism, like a cog with a ratchet. That's called a radisser. Don't know why, but it's called a radisser. I've used them before in my forestry profession for fencing. Basically you wind it up with a spanner, and the little click on the side stops the cog turning back as you take the tension up on the wire. Very useful little device that is. And of course those radissers, as they're called, go all the way down. No Brunel pull gauge rail here, of course. Different railway. There's the strut. And of course the wires would have been fed through the strut, which is why it's in 2 pieces, to allow the wires to pass through. There you go. Completely different one. Nice. It even got a nice top on them. Nice finial on the top there. Chedworth Roman Villa site now. If you've not been to Chedworth Roman Villa before, well worth a visit. Some really nice mosaics and Roman artefacts and general history, but not quite railway enough for this video. So let me just pan round. Somewhere up there is the same Midland South Western Junction Railway that we were on just now. So we'll head up that way, see if we can pick it up. Our second bridge. This is an accommodation bridge, and quite a different build here. Got those custom slanted buttresses, In very good condition once again. And there's another one of those straining posts with radishes on. So we're on the same railway. Pan back up. Conifer tree growing out of the wall there. It's amazing where they get. But just coming down this side, identical. And a piece of retaining wall that looks a little bit dodgy. We won't be spending too much time trying to climb that. And buried under a rock fall there, you can just see the top of another Midland and South Western Junction Railway straining post. Same design. Got the radishes on for straining the wires up. Lovely. Okay, we'll press on. Next target, the railway tunnel. And we're going up there. That's a long way up. Okay, see you at the top. Okay, while I get my breath back, let's look at the track bed. This is looking north, and about 1.5 miles down the road is the Compton road bridge. First bridge we looked at. Spin round, and somewhere up there is the north portal of the Chedworth tunnel. Next target, let's go. The first thing I've noticed is this quite short cutting, but look at the rock. Look at that limestone. That's absolutely solid. On that side and on that side. Layer upon layer of solid stone. Only short, but my God, that must have been a lot of work. Fair play to them. You can see just through the trees up on the bank, standing sentry. That post a bit further down, another post, difficult to see with leaves on the trees, but they're still there after all this time. That cutting's picked up again on this side, and just look at those tree roots. Hanging on for grim death, that beech tree. Absolutely amazing. And it goes on and on and on up there. Massive amount of work. This track bed is actually a designated footpath. I know from checking you can't get all the way down it to the far bridge, but this is signposted up from Chedworth Roman Villa, so fortunately it's kept reasonably well maintained, and it's an easy walk if you fancy it one day. Now we're on an embankment. Let's take a moment to look down through the woods. It's all mixed woodland, this. I guess this hardwood is predominantly from the old railway, but it's mostly mixed conifer woodland. There's a lot of it as well. I don't know if you can read that. I'll perhaps zoom in on it a little bit, as it relates a little bit to the railway. Interesting. And there's the tunnel. North portal of the Chedworth tunnel. Top left open as usual, for so the bats can get in and out. In pretty good condition, except looks like a bit of a crack on the right hand buttress wall. Locked, padlocked, the security as usual. Very nice bridge. Part blue brick, part red brick, part breeze block, part metal tube, and a steel door with a padlock. I wonder if we can see inside. Let's have a look. Set the camera rolling. Try and hold it still. There's a tunnel. Don't see any bats.
A clean floor there. It's about 430, 440 yards long. Nice and clean. Brickwork looks in good condition. Just did the torch then, so you can see further down. Probably just about make out the other end. There's a faint glimmer of light down there. Very nice. There's that same buttress design that we had on the first bridge, where the buttress wall's actually scarfed into the rock. And a nice detail across the top of the bridge. Nice stepped brickwork just to finish it off. Very nice there. As always, these old railways accompanied by groves of hart's tongue ferns. A magnificent display up here by the railway tunnel. Beautiful.